Hello. Hoping this mic's working because I've actually this is the second time I've tried to make this video, and the first time for some reason it was recording through the internal mic, which is actually shitter than my Guitar Hero mic that I use to record sound. But so yeah, like I said, I tried to make this video once before, 2 months ago when things were more heightened, and to be honest, it didn't do me any favours to upload it. It wouldn't have done anyone any favours to have watched it. It was too rambly and unfocused. It was overtly political, and I mean, I suppose to be honest, not much has changed. I don't think the situation has changed as that much that it should have changed, but I realised that video as it was probably wasn't worth the time I took to make it, or the time anybody's time worth watching it. So, so I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, and that's another thing. I'd got this fucking ton of notes that I'd written out. Things that had happened, just random stuff. Everything seems to all happen at once, and then you got the backdrop of lockdown and just the crazy way the world is at the moment, and everything got really fucking mental, and I think that came out in the video. Hopefully, should be a bit more relaxed and worthwhile, but I mean, it seems strange to be where we are at the moment. I mean, everybody seems to sort of relaxed, and from my perspective, it doesn't feel like much has changed. It didn't feel like we really gave it a proper good go. But like as in sort of a good go, as in sort of like what we needed to do, not to sort of risk killing ourselves every time we go out in the street, because obviously that's what's at stake. But it seems strange that people seem to have forgotten that, and we don't, particularly in this country, our resilience is for shit. It's like it's as if sort of you're not risking your life, potentially risking your life every time you go out in the street, and you are. It's just people would rather go to the pub or scrap for some bog roll than do everything they can not to potentially catch a life-threatening virus. But yeah, it feels strange. This is a pickups video, by the way. And I did tell myself that I wasn't going to sort of go down the same avenues as I did in the first one, but I don't want to live in sort of a blissful ignorance. I hate politics, but like I said, I don't want to live in blissful ignorance or willful ignorance. So I have to engage with it, whether I like it or not. I can't just switch it off, and it seems a bit weird to be making a pickups video now, and this is what it is. But it seems weird to be making a pickups video now, as the way the world is, and not at least sort of say something, address it. It just seems like it would be like too much of an elephant in the room. I can't just switch it off, and I'm sort of envious of people who can, but it's pretty much like every waking hour. Not no, Jesus Christ, no. That drive you up the wall. No, not every day. You have to engage with it in some way, don't you? Because it's still there. It's not going away until we give it a proper good go. And then on top of that, you've got the. I don't know. I was going to talk about politics, but I don't feel sort of like I've got it. I'm up to it. I'm not clever enough to deal with what's going on, and to talk about it reasonably and constructively. But I know sort of I know that what I think, the perspective I have is you know, probably good for me, good for my what's up here. Not, honestly really don't know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm talking about, but I'd never planned to say any of this. But I feel like I have. No, I'm not going to say that. None of that. Cut that out. Ignore that. Yeah, but did we give it a as far? Oh no. No, not going to go there. Not going to go there. So let's see if I can remember some of the stuff I spoke about in the first version of this video. Oh yeah. I sort of in the sort of very early days. It must have been some April sometime when everything was sort of. I think probably. That's probably how we should all be living now. But everything was quiet. I actually missed that. Does anybody miss how quiet it was? In a very strange way. Very strange way. I quite enjoyed it in a sort of slightly odd sense. I enjoyed how quiet everything was, and how the skies were clear and things like that, and everything felt fresh. And there was, if you ignored the politics, the world in turmoil politics. There was a sort of a coming together in certain circles. People, there was sort of a resourcefulness and a resilience, but that seems to have sort of been abandoned. And I personally, I think prematurely. But oh well, no. Like I said, I wasn't going to go there. Anyway, right. Back in sort of quite the early days, I got called a cunt twice when I was out and about. Two different people, not the same people. Two different people. The first one was the most random of the two. At least I think it is. The first one, I was out and about, and where I live, it's sort of pretty suburban. There's got a petrol station. It's got a Tesco's, and it's it was a little enclosed little Tesco's, so I try not to go there. And a bit further away, about sort of like a 15-minute walk, I found in the early days, I found it was probably more worthwhile going into to get food, to buy food if I needed to buy food, rather than going to the big supermarkets. When there's nothing on the shelves. If I wanted to get something, the smaller supermarkets, the smaller like local ones are better, and there's about a whole load of them. Some Turkish food shops. There's a petrol station with a Marks and Spencers. There's a small Sainsbury's and a Co-op, all in which. So one day I was down there and I had to get a load of food, and I was walking back, and I don't know if anybody else found this, but like when we were being asked in this country to keep 2 meters from people, and I think I didn't have a problem with that whatsoever. I found if I ever saw anyone ahead of me, and I'd make a sort of a judgment about whether or not they were going to give me the room that I would give them. I felt like for a long time with a lot of people, I was doing all the heavy lifting because I was giving people space, but they weren't giving me space, and it just and I found that I would sort of prejudge people that I could see in the distance if they were coming towards me. On this occasion, I was walking along this road, and there was literally the road and then a footpath and a bit of a grass verge, but not much space. So if I was going to cross anyone, I was going to have to walk out to the road. I didn't have a problem with that. There's nothing on the road, and it was quite nice. Nothing on the road. And I was sort of walking towards this couple coming towards me, and I thought, well, fuck it, I'll just sort of, I won't give this couple. I looked at them, and they were being quite purposeful. I think I'm not going to give them an opportunity to just sort of, show me that they're not going to get out of the way or give me space. So I'm going to just give them space, So I did. I was walking out to the middle of the road. I just had my head down. I had a couple of bags of shopping, and as I sort of was about to pass them, I heard the bloke go, "Oh, and here's another one." I thought, "Hey, what?" And he goes to me, I think this is what he said. I can't really remember. I think he goes, you're not gonna catch COVID by walking out into the road, you cunt, like this. And I think what he meant, or maybe I misheard. Maybe this is what he said. He said, "You're not going to stop catching COVID by walking out into the road, you cunt." But I heard it, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is what he did actually say. It's just he wasn't the most articulate bloke in the world, judging by this weird frame of mind he had. Angry bloke to begin with. He said, you're not going to catch COVID by walking out into the road, you cunt. So, hey. He got angry that I was giving him space. I thought that's what we were all being asked to do, and we still are to an extent. And he seemed to take it to heart that I'd given him room. Really weird. And I was trying to process it, and I thought, what's his problem? And is he one of these idiotic conspiracy theorists, like one of these sort of 5G denialists? Who fuck knows. But it was just one of the weirdest thing ever. And I walked home, and I was just trying to process it. And sort of, at one point, I said to him before I left, because we didn't stop and have a chat, we just kept on going. And he was shouting at me as he was walking off into the distance. And I can only sort of think that his wife or girlfriend, whoever she was, sister, was thinking, "Oh, shut the fuck up." And he was that angry. I was sort of worrying for her safety. He was just. If he'd had a gun, if he'd been in America, he probably might have shot me. I don't know. It was that sort of But I said to him, I don't want to get you to give me anything. I don't want to give you anything. And he was like, and then I said, "What? Do you want me to come and cough in your face?" And he goes, "I don't give a fuck." Like this. It was just one of the weirdest encounters of my life. Just weird, strange, but a story. Like I said, everything was heightened, wasn't it? And I'm not sure he was really thinking straight. Maybe he thought better than sort of literally 99.9% of the world's scientists. Anyone who hadn't been, and had their wages paid by the people like that Weatherspoon's twat. But anyway, and the second one, maybe. I've tried to wrap my head around this one, and it might have been just as random, I don't know. But again, this is to do with the empty roads. I quite like empty roads, but I don't know about anybody else. But just for that short period when the roads were really empty, you'd get all these idiots who would just go out for a daily burn, and you could hear them off in the distance going like off in the night. You'd hear them go off along the empty roads, and then they do it during the day as well because there was less cars on the road. Again, this time I was just out for a walk. I found in the evenings was a good time just to go and get some exercise because there's less people out. And on this occasion, I was walking out the same road actually, and this car I could hear it off in the distance. It's coming towards me on this empty road, and it's one of these people who will literally accelerate as fast as they can, until they hit traffic, and then you can hear them jam the brakes on like that. It's just idiotic, and such is the way I am. I just hate people like that, and I think I must have gone twat as he'd gone past. And now, I walked on a little bit further. About 15 minutes later, I was just plodding along, thinking nothing of it, because these people are everywhere. This is going to be a long video, by the way. I filmed another bit. I got some CX parcels, and I was going to, if it wasn't too long, I was going to add them on to the end, but I've got a feeling I have to upload them separately, otherwise this is going to be a monster. But anyway, yeah. I was plodding along. Again, didn't think much of it. Then I heard, "Oi, dickhead." I look up. Yeah, dickhead. And it was some bloke who'd stopped in a car. He was like a boy racer type. He goes, "Yeah, you ugly cunt." So it's happened again. And he was going, and I was just like, "Huh?" And then he was literally, he'd stopped in the other side of the road, and he was he got his window wound down, and he was just giving me a load of abuse. And I was thinking, is this just a random? Because it was quite late at night. It's just a random idiot, it's a lunatic. And then, having given it some thought, maybe it was that person I called a twat. And what he's done, he's heard me, and then he's driven around. He's driven around the local area trying to find me, so he could give me a load of abuse. But that's the only conclusion I came to. But suffice to say, if you don't like being called a cunt, don't be a cunt. It's quite a simple set of rules to live by, and it's quite easy to understand. I mean, if you're going to drive like that, you're being a twat. I mean, it's obviously he's got some sort of masculinity. He has to sort of like let out. I've got to drive really fast. I've got a fast car. I'm going to drive fast. And it's not legal, and he knows he's breaking the law, and he's being a twat, and I called him a twat. I think quite justifiably, and he obviously didn't like it. So, and I think that's quite a simple rule to live by, because it's quite sort of interesting how often twats, obvious twats, don't like being called twats. It's just really strange. You're being a twat. I'll hold my hands up. I know if I'm ever being a twat or a cunt or anyone. I'll hold my hands up, and I'll accept criticism if that's the case. But not this bloke. No, might have been someone totally separate. I might have, I might have been right. He might have been a lunatic. But anyway, that was the conclusion I came to. But anyway, right, shit. Over 15 minutes. That's my itchy leg. There was a whole load of other things to talk about, but one of them being just. Do you hear that? There's my cat outside the door going, hang on. Give me a couple of minutes. Sorry, that was my my old cat, who's very, very, very needy in his old age and doesn't like being left alone. So he was sitting in the hallway going meow like that, and that's what he does now. That's exactly how he sounds. But anyway, yeah. Deep in the darkest lockdown, everything in my house seemed to go to shit. Things seemed to break. Right, just random stuff. My toaster, my oven, my heating boiler, as in. I got a notification from my virus protection that someone had hijacked my router. I was like, fuck! I mean, this is the last thing I need, but I've got a new one now. But things just seemed to go to shit, and it was all sort of topped off. Although this was just random stuff, but this one in particular was actually my fault, partially, mostly my fault, and it was topped off by me dropping my CRT TV. I say mostly my fault. I will try and blame my often mentioned neighbours, who they've not even moved in yet, and I already despise them intensely. And I'm sorry if I'm boring you by mentioning them yet again, but they are partially responsible. Such as the noise that comes from that side of the wall during lockdown when you're not allowed out. It's slightly difficult to take when you're not allowed to go out, but you have to pass time. And it did drive me up the wall slightly, and I had to come to some sort of. I had to sort of find something I could do that wouldn't be interrupted by their absolute racket that they make daily, and the one thing I came to sort of like I sort of decided was that I could take my CRTV, which is in my bedroom. So my CRT TV was in my bedroom, which is sort of next door to their house, sort of the adjoining wall there, that wall. And I could move it as far away as possible. So sort of like I've got like a room and a corridor in between. So there's less noise coming from the directly other side of the wall, and I can hook up my consoles to it, my retro consoles. But the only place I could move it to is the sort of like the spare bedroom that I'd decorated. and the only place really to put it was on the bed. And I'd got a bit of old worktop because the bed was sort of like taking up most of the, sort of about 60% of the or 50% of the square foot of the room. It's a double bed, and I've got a bit of old worktop that I'd put on the bed. It's basically to protect it, so to spread a bit of the weight out of the CRTV because it's only a 20-inch. It's still fucking heavy. And I put it on there, and for a while it was nice. It was like I could still hear the racket, but it wasn't so intrusive. It wasn't stopping me doing stuff, and I could sort of take a bit of a breather, and I could sort of play some nice, games on my Mega Drive or my PS2. But then one day I wanted to change it slightly because the sun was coming in, and I wanted to sort of change the angle, and I couldn't quite do it, so I had to take it off. I had to take it off the bit of worktop that I'd got basically to make it more stable as well, because it was just sitting on the mattress. And I took it off and put it to the side, moved the bit of worktop to where I wanted it to be, and I just came round behind the telly to pick it up and put it onto the worktop, but I hadn't got it hold of it properly. You know how awkward CRT TVs are to pick up, and the weight's all over the place. The weight's they're really front heavy, aren't they? And I came round behind it, tried to lift it, and sort of like, because it was a mattress, I think the end just sort of sunk like that, and all the weight went forwards. I hadn't got a proper grip of it, and it just slipped out my hands and went stoosh. You'd have heard the thud it made. I thought, there's no way that hasn't destroyed the floorboards I put down last year with my mate. There's no way that hasn't happened. And suffice to say, I thought, this telly is absolutely knackered. There's no way. And I picked it up. The housing was cracked all the way around the outside like that. And it was all off kilter. And like the little control panel at the top had sort of slipped under the housing. But I tried... I thought I better try turning it on just to see if it works. And I put on some rubber gloves because I wasn't sure if it would electrocute me. Got these black rubber gloves. I'm going to put them on. And I was thinking, I just plugged it in and just like winced, flicked the switch, and it didn't go bang. I was like, fuck. And there was shitloads of stuff rattling around. There's probably like loads of bits of plastic. But weirdly, it works. Oh, I thought I just turned it. Weirdly, it works. I have no idea how that still works. It still rattles, and the housing is sort of, I can't get it back into position, but it looks like shit, but it still works. And that's the one upside of all the crap that's died during lockdown. 20 minutes, bollocks. Yeah, so my CRT TV works, but it looks like shit. But I do sort of feel the need that I do want to. It might be what I need to spur me on to get myself a Bang & Olufsen, but I don't know how much I'm meant to be spending. They seem to go for sort of like 40 quid up to like 140, 150. I don't know. And obviously I've got to wait for one in sort of like the local area that's got its remote control. But I don't know. Fucking crazy shit. But anyway, fuck it, this is the pickups video. So sorry if I've bored you up to this point, but this is some things just needed to get off my chest, and I don't know how anyone can. It seems weird to make videos like this and not reference certain things that are going on. But anyway, right. Yeah, pickups. Right. The first thing that I've picked up, I'm going to whiz through this stuff that's not game related. First thing I was picked up, you won't be able to see behind me. Those two speakers. It's all part of some really sad plan that I've got. Actually, they're a sort of a birthday present to myself because my mum was. My mum had bought me a pre-order for a PC Engine Mini for Christmas, but it didn't turn up because of virus-related supply issues. And so she gave me some money for my birthday, which was back in May. So on top of money I got and a bit of Christmas money, I had quite a bit more. And I didn't really know what to do with it. So in the end, I wanted to buy myself some speakers. One of the reasons is because I've discovered I'm quite a petty, vengeful person. I could go into sort of detail, explained some examples in the past, but this is firmly to do with when they finally move in, me sort of irritating them in a really sort of low level way, a really petty low level way. So I'm just going to play some sort of not too loud music, but sort of enough that it's going to sort of penetrate the walls and it's going to really annoy them. I'm seeing it. It's physics. It's Newtonian. It's of every action has an equal and opposite reaction to it. Sort of every decibel coming through the wall. Sort of my the budget for most speakers went up, so I could get a bit more volume out of them. I'm still intending to buy a subwoofer in the future, and I'm intending to buy a record deck. I'm going to go full on record cunt, and there's a little. That's a little clue for something that I've got in this pile of pickups. But yeah, to be honest, I've wanted a proper sort of sound system, and that's going to go in my bedroom. They're not going to stay there. Not that I've really got any room anymore, because having consolidated all my collection, I've pushed it all upstairs, and there's really not much room other than my wardrobe, my bed, a few like sets of drawers and stuff, and all my games. Sort of like. There's barely room around my bed to sort of get round, and I keep cracking my shins on the corners, and now I've got like tide marks of bruises on my shins. But yeah, so they will go upstairs. They're Canto U6s. I think they're good speakers actually. They're really really crisp. They're a bit better than anything I've got at the moment, but they probably lack a bit of bass. That's why I wouldn't mind getting a subwoofer. I think if like if old Bithead 1000s, because I know he's into that sort of thing. Saw them, he'd probably be very disparaging, but I like them. But I don't tend to listen to whatever he says now. Ever since he turned himself into like a bargain bucket, Jordan Peterson. It's very sad that way that's gone, really, isn't it? But I know a lot of people love him now. But no, I haven't watched him for a while, and I put one on just for old time's sake, and for a while it was like, yeah, this is. I remember how much I used to enjoy his videos, but then he went off some sort of a, overtly racist, misogynistic spiel about blaming everyone else but him for his own problems. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. So yeah, they're probably style over substance as far as he's concerned. But I did look into it, and they're sort of like. I've got a decent price. They were second hand, but they've got Bluetooth, so I can hook them up to this. I can hook them up to my iTunes or whatever it is version, whatever they call it now, and I can hook it up to my CRT TV. Although I'm a bit wary now because I've not hooked them up to my CRT TV ever since the big sort of disaster. But it's got an auxiliary cable, little port, so you can. And I've hooked it up actually. It is a bit of overkill. There's a bit of hiss at high volumes, but sort of my CRT TV has only got sort of mono sound, but then it's a bit weird. It's got a little 20-inch telly with those big fat speakers next to them. It's a bit strange, but I quite enjoyed it. Can't deny it. But yeah, so I can hook it up like that, and I can hook them up to my telly in my room with an optical cable. And this is another purchase that I've got. This came with the speakers, so this was an additional purchase. I can hook it up to my proper telly in the lounge, because sometimes my soundbar doesn't sort of deal with certain things like blockbuster films very well. The volumes are really high, but the dialogue's quite difficult to hear. I don't think anybody else ever has that, but so I'm tempted to try those speakers with my telly in the other room. And part of the plan of moving into my room is to build a speaker stand, and the idea is it's going to be on sort of a slight up tilt, and I thought I'd buy myself some hairpin chair legs, not chair legs, furniture legs like this. There we go. So we've got one size. These are the 10 inches, and these are the 12 inches. So they're different sizes, and the idea is you do it like that. And then it points them upwards, and you have them over by your telly, and they're meant to point directly at your ears. But I haven't really figured it out properly. It was sort of based on this picture I found on the internet. The problem is the picture I found, the legs in the picture were clearly of an inferior quality to these, because these are rock solid, and if you sort of see like that, you tilt them upwards. The back legs end up vertical, so it doesn't really work. So I'm going to have to figure out how to attach them. But if anybody understands what I'm talking about, then good on you. But I just thought I fancy showing them to you. I think they're quite cool. They're going to go on a nice bit of timber, and the speakers are going to sit on the timber, and sort of like they're going to sit over by my telly. So they're not. I didn't want them too high. I don't really like those really high speaker stands, but and they come in packs of 4. So, and you get a company called the Hairpin Leg Company, and you get some little feet to go underneath as well. So, yeah. So right. Probably near half an hour, right? Well, I'm going to properly whiz through these. Right, stuff. Right, purchases, things I bought other than chair legs and speakers. A birthday present to myself, another birthday present to myself, a book that I've wanted for a long time, Adina. This is by Mobius, Jean Giraud. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's, it's The World of Adina. I just like the artwork. I'm not even trying to explain it. I'm not sure I even understand it myself. I've already read it. It's a comic book. But it's a comic book. The artwork's stunning, to be honest. I just love the technique. It's all these sort of pastel colours, very, very, very delicate line work, and blocked in colours, and tone is sort of density of line rather than thickness of line, or shading, and he uses sort of colour to create depth as well, which I just love that style. And that front image is quite a good example of his work. It's Mobius. It's Moebius. I bought one of his books a few years ago called The Incal. It's a collaboration with him and Alejandro Jodorowsky, who's sort of like, yeah. But this is one I've had my eye for a long time. But anyway, so no longer than, that's all that's getting, because I know no one's interested other than me. But a charity shop purchase, CD. This came with some. It was my first trip into my local charity shop after it opened. It's been open for probably about a month now, and every time I went past it when it was closed, I could see like inside all the stuff they had. You could see all the stuff they had in the window, and I thought, as soon as it opens, I'm going to be straight in there, because they had a decent selection of stuff. Turns out somebody had already got to it, but anyway, this wasn't one of the things I'd see my cat had my eye on, but I fancied buying it because I like the band. It's a CD called Soft Bulletin by Flaming Lips. I just really like the Flaming Lips. I don't know what to do with all this stuff. This was a birthday present to myself. It's Charlatans' Modern Nature. I think it was the first album after the death of their drummer or bassist. I can't remember. I'm guessing he died of cancer. I can't remember exactly. But it's a very, very melancholy album. And one thing is about the Charlatans is they age brilliantly, but they still have their sound. They're unmistakably the Charlatans, but they still feel fresh. Whereas you can't always say that for certain other bands from round about that time. Naming no names. Right, this next one's a bit of a lockdown story. A lockdown, not even a purchase. I don't know if anybody else found this, but did it feel like people around where you live had just sort of given up, and they'd given up on just life in general, and there was just shit everywhere in that sense? I did. There was just crap everywhere, and there still is. And this is an example, but mostly it's not usable. There's things, people could dump stuff outside their houses, or dump things just randomly in the street, or dump things next to bins, dump things outside charity shops when they hadn't been open for months. But people just go and dump things outside charity shops, even though they have in clear lettering, don't dump things outside charity shops, and they all do, because people will still do. But anyway, and in this instance, near me, I've got a sort of a decent sized Sainsbury's. It's about 10 minutes walk, and they've got a little sort of a recycling bit, and I was just walking through there. I've been out on a walk about an hour. It was quite late, and it's quiet. I was walking past it. I just walked past sort of like the fence that surrounds it, and I could see all this stuff like underneath the fence. And obviously, people had dumped stuff next to the bins. They don't put stuff in the bins. They just turn up and just dump it. It's just pretty rank, to be honest. But I could see this was vinyl. I thought, hang on, that looks like new, brand new vinyl. It's as in still in its wrapper. And I thought, I'd have a quick look at that. And as I went past, I didn't go around the right side. I just sort of stayed around that side, and I was sort of like, I was a bit paranoid because I thought I might catch something. I didn't want to go digging around rubbish bins or anything like that, because if you're ever going to catch anything from something something you shouldn't, it's going to be if you're digging around other people's rubbish. But in this instance, I thought fuck it, and I picked it up. Oh, it's worth having. And walked home with it like that. Just held it like that without trying to touch it. And it's actually a big elk vinyl by a band called War on Drugs. This was just sitting next to one of the recycling bins. War on Drugs: A Deeper Understanding. I've listened to it on YouTube. It's a bit gentle for my liking. It feels a bit like Future Islands, but without sort of the crazy bellowing, which I quite like about Future Islands. But yeah, it's definitely worth having. So this is free. I'm having that, and I walked home. And it's not often I see any of this crap that people have dumped. And I think I'll take that, because it only gets dumped. It doesn't end up in the recycling. It just gets chucked out. But someone had put this next to a recycling bin. So I walked home, disinfected it, obviously. I thought I thought I should go back and sort of see what else is there. Went back, there's nothing. I think they had a Mel Torme album and lots of weird sort of Italian techno. But it's just strange. But this was the only one worth having, which was the first one I actually nabbed. So I thought, and I looked on Amazon and eBay. This is about a £30 brand new album. So fuck it. I'm trying to get into vinyl. So I think this is definitely one I'm having. I think it's orange. It's orange vinyl. So anyway, I'll put that there. But whether or not it ever gets sort of listened to. It's sort of, I don't know. Like I said, I have listened to it. I'm not sure. I might just sell it on, because, like I said, I'm not sure I actually like it that much. But I know my mates into them, and that's why I recognise the name. It's not, again, I hadn't ever really heard their music up to that point. But I know, like I said, I knew my mate was into them. But, right, fucking hell. Films now. Films. I was going to probably whiz through these. This came with the CD from my first trip into my local charity shop. This is probably on YouTube. I just sort of felt obliged to buy something. Psychic Wars anime. It's only 50p. I just like the old school sort of manga releases. It's that trailer. That one with a dun 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 dun. That sort of like really metally trailer. And at the end it goes, Hurr! That one. People who know manga from the 90s, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Right, these two are from another charity shop that these two, they're actually a bit of a punt, thinking, or one of them in particular, thinking it might be worth more, might be worth trading in, but purely for the sort of the sort of film it is. It's not one I've ever heard of, but I know the company who release it, their stuff's often quite sort of it's worth buying to trade in or sell on. It's a film called In the Land of the Deaf, Le Pays de Sourds by Nicolas Philibert. And it's a company called Second Run, and I've got a few of theirs. I've had a few of theirs, and often they prove to be worth having, relatively, not just like your standard 50p DVD. Turns out this one is. So it's going to be a keeper. I had sort of like nabbed it. It was only 50p to trade in, but it's not worth trading in. You'll probably get about 10p. But I've definitely got others of theirs that are sort of £10 DVDs and stuff. But you know, and this one is actually for me. This is just a keeper. It's Eraserhead. Anybody ever seen this? I've seen this once. I can't really remember. I saw it at university, and I thought, what the fuck is going on? Oh, it's David Lynch, and yeah, Eraserhead. Right, two more again from the same. I think these were both in a sort of 50p, two for £1 job. So that's why I got two. And this is a different place on a different day, but they had the same offer. There's a bit of a story about this one actually. I went into a charity shop. I had the DVD shelves all to myself, and I was going, "Oh, this is interesting stuff." And I picked out all the stuff I wanted, and then and this bloke came in right in behind me, and he sort of stood next to me, and he was like, literally all the stuff I'd put back on the shelves, I'd leave through it. He was like, and I noticed he'd got it in his hand, and he was keeping well hold of it, so he wasn't letting it go. I just thought, am I going to regret putting that back? And I can't remember exactly all of it, but there was one in particular that I know I'd put back that I've since looked up that I've discovered that I should have had. But these are the two that I did get from that particular charity shop by a film called The Piano Teacher by Michael Haneke. He made the original Funny Games, if anybody's seen it. I don't know what else people would know, but he's one of my favourites. He's Funny Games is a tough watch if anybody's seen it. There's a remake with Tim Roth and Michael. What's his name? I can't remember, but I'm not sure I even know what The Piano Teacher's like. But I know I like Michael Haneke's films. Anyway, again 50p. This one again 50p, two for £1. Years ago, my mum bought me a membership to the British Film Institute, and with it came a free ticket to go and watch any film that they had on over a year during your year's membership, and I ended up watching this. I think I was coming near the end of my membership, and I had to use my free ticket. And I thought, "Oh fuck it, I'm going to watch this." And it was a film called Yakuza Graveyard. It's brand new. It's released by Eureka. I thought, again, this isn't really worth anything at all. But this is definitely a keeper though. But it's by a guy called Kinji Fukasaku, or Fukasaku Kinji, who made the original Battle Royale, and I think he contributed to that film Tora Tora Tora, which is about Pearl Harbor. And this is a Japanese gangster film, and it's all handheld, and it's all a bit of a head spinner. Worthwhile though. Give that one a go. But yeah, this is for like old times, because I've not seen it since I saw it in the British Film Institute. But if you ever get a membership, you go there and you don't think you can take food into the cinema, and there's no adverts. You literally go in, watch the film, and then leave. But right, same charity shop that had Eraserhead. Again, two for £1. It's just I went in there a couple of weeks ago, and they had just some quite modern DVDs I knew were worth having. The probably one I'm less interested in is Red Sparrow, although it's Jennifer Lawrence, and I do like Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know who made it. Francis Lawrence, no idea, never heard of him, but I do like Jennifer Lawrence. But this one I know more of, not that it's meant to be very good. Sequel to The Shining, it's a Doctor Sleep. I got this because I knew it was probably worth it because it's only from this year, 2019. No, 2020, got 2020 on it. So it's probably worth having to trade in. Again, it's only 50p. Even it's not meant to be very good, it's again, I can get a bit of money back. This one is really good. Bit of an ordeal to watch though. I saw it in the cinema, and it drained me. It reminded me a bit of watching And then the experience-wise, of watching Requiem for a Dream, it sort of did that to me. You just go, oh fucking hell, it's horrible. It's The Lighthouse. It's such a good such a good film. It's just really, I can highly recommend this. Although don't go into it lightly. Be prepared for an experience, an intense experience. And this last one, this is the last DVD I've got. Then we're on to the games. It's the 8th series of Game of Thrones. Although I bought this to trade in, probably. It's 8 series DVD. Although you might recognise it's not in a proper case. It's official. It's all legit. It's got all of the UK age ratings and stuff. It's all in English. It's all official, but for some reason it's different, and I can't work out why it's different. Because I've checked the barcode on things like Music Magpie. They don't even recognise it. They don't recognise the barcode. You can't even. There is some sort of. There's a listing on Amazon for this, and they've got it for £40, but they don't sell it officially anymore. I have no idea what this is, but I've got a feeling Computer Exchange won't take it, which will be disappointing. But if that's the case, I'll just keep it, because I do like that. It's not Battle of Winterfell episode. I like it all, to be honest. I'm one of the people who likes it, so screw you if you didn't. But so yeah. I've got a feeling it might be a keeper, because I've got a feeling Computer Exchange won't take it, which is a shame, because it's about £7 credit or something. But right, sorry if this is taking ages. Suffice to say, that extra bit that I did from my Computer Exchange credit online purchase, that'll get uploaded separately. So right, one of the people I watch really enjoys videos. I can't read his name. He's called Wishwash. I can't remember his actual name. So I don't think he watches my videos, but if he does, cheers for the tip. Really enjoys videos. I like his pickups, and we do sort of similar things. He goes to car boots and stuff, but we all, he's one of the people. There's lots of us. I've realised lots of us who accrue CEX credit in certain ways, and then get what they want for their collections. But he mentioned NIS America, Europe websites, Nipponichi, and what they, ever so often they have like good sales. And I had a look, and I got these two. I've realised that a few other people have got these, exactly the same ones, because it was a good. Excuse me. It was a good offer. A game for the PS3. These were, I think they were $7.99 or $6.99 reduced, but then you pay postage. I think you pay postage for up to 2, but then you have to pay an extra lot of postage. You pay postage for 1, but then then there's no additional cost for a second game. But then if you have a third game, then you pay for another round of postage. I think that's how it worked. So I had to, in the end, it was only worthwhile getting 2. And I think it's not a massive saving in the end, but they're not expensive games, and they're probably paid less than I would have elsewhere. But it's called the first game is Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters. I bought this thinking, I don't exactly know what sort of game it is. I thought it was like a strategy RPG, but I've got a feeling it's elements of that, but mainly a visual novel, which ain't my bag, man. But as you can see, I've not tried it yet. It's still in its rafa, but I'll give it a go. See, look, that made me think it was a strategy RPG. But I don't know how much actual gameplay it's got. But why not give it a go? You say. So I will do eventually. I'll get around to it. And this one is probably more my bag. Although I've heard it's an absolute ball breaker. Etrian Mystery Dungeon. I've come to realise Mystery Dungeon is sort of code for roguelike RPG that will absolutely kick you in the nuts. So, there's a few mystery dungeon games, sort of like there's one on the DS called Shiren the Wanderer Mystery Dungeon, exactly the same. They're not all mystery dungeon, but there's a lot of there's like Izuna's another one, all very similar style, and I think this is just an Etrian themed version of a game like that. But so I think in the end they were only they came to about £6.20 something in total. There was just under £6, but then you add on the postage, and then together it's just about £13 or £12 something for both all in. But right, charity shop purchase. A few days ago, I went past a charity shop that I hadn't been in since lockdown. Went in there, to sort of a sneaky look into their back room, and saw a big pile of PS3, PS4, Xbox games. And went to the woman behind the counter, and she was only her own, so she couldn't let me in the back, understandably. And so she told me to come back the next day. And I came back the next day because there was another bloke working there, and he let me in, and he brought them all out, this big pile, put them on the shelf. I couldn't exactly see the first time around. I couldn't exactly see what was on the pile, but there was some decent stuff, but not really anything worth keeping or trading in other than this. Although I just really took it. I probably shouldn't have taken it because the disc's not in brilliant condition, but it's definitely worth trading in if CX will take it. It was £3 for Minecraft on the PlayStation 3. Yeah. The disc's not in brilliant nick, but like I said, it's worth having sort of like a punt on because the credit's worth it if they will take it, and I can probably try and clean the disc. I'm not even sure it's a scratch. It seems to be like a bit of dirt, but I've had trouble getting rid of it. But right, these three actually, are all from my local charity shop. I think actually I'll do it that way around. I can't remember which board these came in. I'll do it like that. But not all from the same trip in, but I like I said, I had been keeping an eye out for every time I went past during all like walks for exercise walks, keeping a look in through the window because you can see right in, and they had a copy of Mario Galaxy, which I thought that's mine, £2. I knew their games were £2, but Mario Galaxy had already been nabbed when I went in for the first time, so I was gutted. But I think this, here we go. This one was still there too. This was definitely worth having. Grand Theft Auto 5, £2. I think it's probably gone up in value since lockdown because a lot hasn't it? Weirdly, I suppose. So again, this is the duplicate, so I'll be trading in. I don't really need to say much more about it. This is the one that I was most interested in, but I can't use it because I haven't got the console. But I don't know. It seems to be a bit of a. I'm not even sure. It's definitely official, but I thought I'll show you anyway. It's Star Fox Guard for the Wii U, but it comes on the disc. I always thought Star Fox Guard was came on was a download code, but this comes on a disc, and it's English. It's got the English language on it. I think in this country it came on a download code, but it's just a strange one. I'm not. It's only £1, so I'm not really losing much, am I? If I don't know, it'd probably be a seller. I can't test it, or if anybody's interested. I didn't really know what to do with it. It's just something I sort of felt obliged to buy because it was only £1. But and I thought it was quite unique because I'd always, like I said, always thought that Star Fox Guard came with Star Fox, that other Star Fox game on the Wii U, didn't it? I think, but it was only as a download code, and I don't know how many were released as in disc version, but it's interesting, yeah. And finally, from them, this was just a one-off. Went past one day, and again, it was something else worth having. Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year edition on the PS3, again £2. So I've got this on the 360, so I don't really need two versions of it. So probably most of that, apart from Star Fox Gold, if you're trading in. So yeah, makes it worth it. But finally, I'll try and whiz through this as much as possible. Another birthday present to myself, along with the speakers, the table legs, and the book. I've had this. I've had some CX credit for a long time, and I've had it earmarked for certain things, but those certain things either come in too far away, and I'm not willing to take the punt, or they never come in. So in the end, I just had enough, and I had some money for my birthday. It was worth it, and I basically just took the game right at the top of my wants list, as in top being my most wanted game. I saw a decent priced one. I put it on my watch list. It's one of those situations where you put something on your watch list, and then the seller offers people it for a lower price. That's the price is getting better. But then they'd also kept on like, they don't all do it, do they? But some, they will also give you the option to offer a lower price as well. So sort of negotiate even more. And in this instance, this is what happens. So I thought, I'm going to be a bit cheeky, even though the price is already decent. I'll be a bit cheeky, and I'm going to offer them a sort of £10 less. And they took it, and it's brilliant. I've got the game that was right at the top of my list, and I'm really chuffed. Although I just a little. Ordinarily, I wouldn't mention how much I pay for these sort of things. I think this is the most I've ever paid for a game. I think that used to be Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the PS1, but this has beaten that by £15. I paid £95 for that, going back 8 years, something like that. So this was £110, and ordinarily I wouldn't talk about how much I spent if I spent that much on something, because there's a certain element of guilt involved. But I think this one, there's a certain reasons why I'm going to mention it. It's Mega Man 8. It's cost me £110. They had it for 130. They offered it for 120. I offered 110, and they took it. It's a really nice nick. Might need another case, but I don't think it does. I haven't even buffed it up yet, so it might buff up really nicely, but generally it's a good 8.5 out of 10, so nothing I can really complain about. Maybe a slight bit of literally only just noticed this, slight bit of sun damage there, but barely, just a little bit. But yeah, so was at the top of my wants list, and so I'm chuffed to have it. Paid 110. The thing is, if you check eBay's record, it doesn't have the record of me paying them how much I paid for it, because I've noticed that eBay are a bit iffy, because if the seller puts something at a certain price and they offer it out for a discount, so the record is still kept at that original price. So it looks like I've paid £130 for this, whereas I paid £20 less than that. So if you're checking back sold listings for the value of a game, it's misleading, and I've seen this a few times, and I think it's a bit iffy, because sellers and buyers are gonna use that as a recommended retail price, aren't they? But it's inaccurate, because I didn't pay as much as it said I did. So I think that's a bit iffy, but this was me and this game are sort of personal, it was personal by this time. So I wasn't willing, for a long time, I wasn't willing to pay more than the cheapest I'd seen it, which I swear I'd seen one for about £17 on Amazon Marketplace. It must have been going back a good 10 years or something. £17, but the listing said it wasn't in the best condition. It had like scratches on the disc. But I sort of unbenard and didn't really have money at the time to be sort of spending on video games to that extent. Even £17. So I passed. Someone bought it. I've been there a while, like months. Someone bought it. I used to like and ah over it like every day. And someone bought it and I regretted it, obviously like an idiot, once someone had bought it. And then ever since then I've not been willing to pay more than that, but then obviously that's not realistic. And now I've got this, if I do randomly see a proper bog standard cheapo one in a charity shop, I'll buy that, trade that in, and I'll get my money back, But having paid, this is not really a birthday present, because I'd spent most of my birthday money. Because I think I'm going to have to sell off some of my other stuff just to offset the cost and the guilt, double whammy. I've got some of my most saleable items ready, and I'm going to whack them on eBay probably in sort of next few weeks. Just like I said, to offset the cost and the guilt, because guilt is quite high. So, right, I'm probably over 50 minutes now, aren't I? So I'm going to let you go. Thanks for watching, and there will be a CEX online purchase unpackaging video coming up very soon, because that's all recorded and ready and done. That's coming soon, and I'm gonna a lot of the stuff I mentioned in that original video that will never get uploaded, like stuff I'd been occupying my time with on lockdown. I've been building my own game shelves and things like that. I still want to make a video about that. And did I mention that I'd moved all my games upstairs? I used to be here, and the vast majority used to be here in this room behind the camera. Behind the camera. Right. Where they are now in my room, it's all a bit ramshackle. I think I have mentioned that in the past, but anyway, I'm going to let you go. No more wittering. Thanks for watching. Cheers, and keep an eye out for all those videos I mentioned. Cheers, thanks for watching.